Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Monstera Table. If you're new, then welcome. Have a seat at my table. Today, we're going to do an all signs reading for the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June. So we're going to see what blessings, any surprises, new people love might be coming in for you. So feel free to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements to see which message will resonate for you the most. So let's start with Aries. By the way, the timestamps will be below in the comments, so you can just skip over to your sign. Okay, so let's see what is the good stuff coming in the month of June for my Aries. Let's see what's the good stuff coming in for my Aries in the month of June. Let's see, what is the good stuff coming in for my Aries? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Ooh, Destiny. Right, so we've got an extra card coming in. So we've got Destiny. So you might be receiving some good luck. Could be a chance meeting with someone or something that was meant to happen. We'll clarify to see what that is. Okay. With the karma, there might be some new opportunity. So something that you've been wanting to happen. Maybe you've been thinking about a new job, could be a new love that you've been waiting. So something might show up in the month of June. You might also be releasing something toxic, so some kind of person or situation that no longer serves you. You might choose to finally leave it behind and cut it off coming into the month of June. Especially if this was in regards to someone who was very non-committal, someone who maybe dealt with other people. You're choosing to walk away from that because you don't want to be an option anymore. You're the prize, which you should be, so you're only willing to entertain people that are only interested in you and give you their full attention. So you could be blonde, or you might be meeting someone blonde. It could be someone quite kind of laid back, not very serious, taking things more in a lighthearted way. Could have blue eyes as well. So if this is someone, so this could be either the person that you're leaving behind. If not, then this could be someone that you're meeting in the month of June. But let's see what the tarot says. Okay, so Spirit, what does Aries have coming in for them in the month of June? What's the good stuff coming in for my Aries in the month of June, please? Let's see, what's the destiny about, please, Spirit? Eight of Cups. So yeah, so again, this is talking about someone that you have been dealing with that wasn't really fulfilling you. What I'm getting is you have emotionally been kind of distancing yourself already, but maybe you were sticking around. So in the month of June, like I said, I see you finally cutting them off and walking away from them. If this is not a person, it could just be some kind of situation. So whether this is a job or a home situation or any kind of connection, it could be friends, family, anything like that. Whatever it is, apply it where it fits, where you haven't really been feeling it, but maybe you just didn't want to be rude, or you didn't want to necessarily hurt the person. You're choosing yourself, and you're walking away. Let's see, what's the karma? Page of Wands. Yeah, so this could have been someone very immature. It could have been someone who was very flirty. They would kind of come in and then disappear on you, very non-committal. They could have been someone who either travels a lot or likes to travel. Very adventurous person, very curious. But again, they would only come in whenever it suited them. and you kind of felt maybe, or you may have even known about them dealing with other people, and you're no longer tolerating that. You could also be meeting someone who's a bit more open with you, more honest, more someone who shares their feelings with you a bit more, as this person might have been all about the lighthearted conversation, but they would never really get too deep about their feelings. So this is someone who's more mature in that way, and they won't be afraid to open up to you. But let's see. What else is the good stuff coming in for my Aries spirit? So we've got 5 of Swords reversed. So if there's been any kind of conflict with someone, I see them either coming towards you and apologizing. Although if this is this person, you might maybe listen to them and say thank you, but I'm still done. Although that is totally up to you, free will. But someone's going to come and try to fix the situation, maybe compromise. They might do it through manipulation. They might not be using the most honest tactics for that. They might just be saying what they think you want to hear just to get back into your good graces. So I don't really see you being really open to that. You might hear them out, but I feel like you're gonna see right through them. But if this is someone else, and it's not this person that we were talking about or this situation, that I see that if there's been any kind of conflict, whether this is a work situation or again a love relationship, there would be some kind of a compromise, things improving, someone wanting to make things right again, maybe clear the air, have a conversation about things with you, and kind of end the conflict. Okay, with the Queen of Wands, I'm getting that you're feeling very confident, you're feeling more like you want to spend more time with people, socialize more, you're getting a lot of attention from people, maybe even more than you're used to or that you feel comfortable with. But ultimately, I feel like in the month of June, you're gaining that confidence. Especially if you're leaving something behind, because you're realizing that you're not an option, you're the prize, and that's already something that gives you that confidence where you're taking your power back, where you're beautiful, you're attractive, you're sexy, you go for what you want, and whatever it is that you're passionate about, you're focusing on those things, and it changes your energy, and that the energy that you're radiating, it catches people's attention, and this is why you will start noticing people looking at you more. People on the street might be saying hello or smiling at you, or just wanting to start conversations with you. You might be the kind of life of a party. If it's a summertime in June, most of the world, anyways. So any kind of social situations, social gatherings, people will want to talk to you, and I feel like you will be enjoying that new confidence and that attention. But let's see if anything else comes out. What's the good stuff coming in for my Aries in the month of June? I guess that one decided not to come out. So let's see. 3 of Pentacles. So you will be working with someone. So this could be, again, a work situation where there might be more of a teamwork. You might be collaborating with someone on something. It could be a project or some kind of business, maybe business idea. If you're thinking about starting like a side hustle or starting a new business. If you are employed, you might feel more connected with your colleagues and your coworkers, and ultimately things at work will be going really well. You will get on with people, especially if there was previously some kind of conflict. There will be a lot of teamwork. This could also be, again, a love situation where if you're connected with someone, things might be improving, so you will be working together a lot better. Or you might be meeting someone that you feel like you get along really well with, that you work together with, that you're a good fit. So you might be exploring that connection a bit more. But that's what I got for you, Aries. And let's move on to Taurus. All right, Taurus, so let's see what's the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June. Okay, so we've got karma, so that's same thing that came out for Aries. So you might be dealing with Aries, or you might be you might have some significant placements in the sign of Aries, so you might want to check out that reading as well. And we've got a career. Let's see what else. What's the good stuff coming in for my Taurus? I'll get you another one since Aries got 4. What's the good stuff coming in for Taurus in the month of June, please, Spirit? All right. So again, same as Aries, what I'm getting is there is either some kind of new opportunity that you're receiving. It could be work opportunity. So this could be either a new job or a promotion or some kind of improvement that will bring either more money or bring you a bit more balance in life. So you might be able to either, if it's more money, then you will be able to afford things that maybe you haven't been able to afford and have a bit more fun with it. Or if you previously worked long hours, maybe a lot of shifts or work kind of having too much work to the point that you would feel either physically or mentally so exhausted that you wouldn't be able to actually do anything. You never felt like really doing much. This type of job would give you a bit more freedom and more of a work-life balance, so that once you're done, you still feel like you actually want to do things, that you still want to go out. Maybe the previous position didn't allow you to do that for whatever reason. So here I see that you will be getting some kind of an offer that might be very beneficial for you. And as I said to Aries, one of the other things that I'm seeing is that maybe you have been dealing with someone, or there was a situation. So this could have been maybe the previous workplace environment was toxic and you want to leave that. Maybe you just didn't really feel good. Maybe the work itself was okay, but maybe the people that you have been working with were toxic, and that's what made you unhappy there. And you really didn't feel like that was the place you wanted to stay in. Or if this is a love situation, you might be leaving behind that person, cutting them off, leaving them in the past, and you might be meeting a new person. It could be a business person or someone who's very successful. Now, whether they are or not, what I'm getting is someone might be giving you an offer. So they might be asking you out on a date, or just kind of letting their feelings know and letting their interest known so that you can actually start something. But mainly what I get is the career message here. In the month of June, I see you having lots of fun. You might be going to a lot of parties. You could be going on holidays, maybe traveling and just kind of enjoying your summer. If you are a female, I see you getting a lot more attention, or I see you getting a lot of recognition. You might be noticing that people see you more in a higher light, as of, like a important type of person. Maybe you are in a leadership position. So again, this might be a promotion. It could be some kind of position of authority where you might be managing people. It could be something that involves working with people. Another thing I'm getting is that you're just receiving a lot more respect. Now, whether this is your workplace or in a home situation, you are being recognized for either your skills or just the person that you are, whatever it is that you're doing. If it's not you, it could be an older woman, someone who's very kind of extroverted, someone who knows their way around, knows a lot of people, that might be either helping you get this opportunity, especially if it is a work offer or kind of a new job position, or you might be meeting someone. I'm also getting you might be meeting this woman at a party or at some kind of social gathering when you're out having fun. This is when you might be meeting a new person. But let's have a look at your tarot. So let's see, Spirit, what is the good stuff coming in for Taurus? So we've got 3 of Cups. Then we've got 3 of Swords. And we've got 4 of Wands. So the 3 of Cups, again, you're having lots of fun with your friends. You might be going out a lot. There might be some celebration. So again, if this is you getting promoted or getting a new position, new kind of work situation, then you will be celebrating this as well. But I see you being more social, spending a lot more time with your friends, and just generally having a lot more good time, being more optimistic, more positive, and just doing things that bring you happiness, that you enjoy, where you're not really focused on just work, but you are also enjoying the time outside of work. Okay. With the 3 of Swords, again, if this was situation that maybe hurt you in the past, there might have been either a heartbreak, some kind of ending. 3 of Swords could always be a third party situation. Only you know what's happened, or you might have a feeling that there was something like that. You're getting over that by spending more times with your friends, just focusing on the people that you know that you can trust and who support you and who are there for you. And again, you're getting over that heartbreak, you're getting over that pain, that sadness. You're starting to be more open to love again, open to meeting new people as well. So this is where you then might meet this new person. And with the 4 of Wands, now this could be either you moving home or getting a new home, potentially, if you're looking at properties, maybe purchasing. But what I'm also getting is you might be going home and focusing on your family, maybe spending more time with your family. Or if you are connected with someone, you might be taking things to the next level as well. So there will be some kind of celebration. So again, whether this is a love situation or just kind of home or family, there will be good times to be had and lots of celebrations. But let's see, what else is the good stuff coming in for Taurus in the month of June, Spirit? So we've got 6 of Cups reversed. Okay. And we've got 2 of Swords. So yeah, all I'm getting is that you might be going back to your roots. So visiting your old home, your childhood home, or some place that you have a lot of memories that you have connected to. It could be something that maybe you felt like there were some unresolved issues from the past, from your childhood potentially, and you going back to that maybe at this time now, after however long it has been. There might be some kind of conversations that you may have that may heal some of these wounds or some of these past things that you may have been holding on to. Someone from the past might also be coming back towards you. And what I'm getting is with the 2 of Swords, if there was something that you maybe were kind of on, on 2 minds, you couldn't decide whatever the situation is. I see you making a decision. You're gaining more clarity about that situation. So you will feel confident enough to make that decision. It could also be that you have been so overwhelmed, maybe at work, just having so many responsibilities, or just have been under a lot of stress, and you taking that time, a little break that you clearly deserve and that you really need, that would be really good for you. And you might be taking this break to, again, go see your family, your loved ones, and just spend more time with them, to kind of go back to your childhood kind of being nostalgic, remembering the good old days when you didn't have all these responsibilities, and that will ultimately give you a bit more energy. It will give you more positivity and let you kind of let go of all this stress a little bit, and it will be kind of lifting you up in a way, because you will hear all these other people's stories. Again, there might be some old things that might be resolved, which will again take that weight off your shoulders. Whatever it is, there will be lots of good times, and you will be coming back with a more lighthearted energy, not feeling as heavy and as burdened as you were before in the month of June. So that's a really great reading. I hope this helps, and let's get on to Gemini. All right, Gemini, let's see what's the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June. So let's see what's the good stuff coming in for my Gemini. Let's see, what is the good stuff coming in for my Gemini? So we've got career. So again, you might be getting some either new job opportunity, or there could be an advancement or promotion. Someone is seeing your hard work and they might want you to get in a more like a leadership position. You might be starting a new business, or you could be becoming self-employed as well, or working on like a side hustle. But what I'm seeing with the gifts, there is some kind of unexpected offer. So something that you maybe didn't see coming, that might come as a surprise. You might be receiving some gifts, or there might be new doors opening for you that previously may have been closed through your hard work. With the friendship card, I see a lot of friends that you might be meeting new people. So again, if this is a new position or you coming into a new environment, you might be getting to know new people, making new connections, networking. And again, these connections, they could be something that may be beneficial, or through friendship is how you might find out about a new job opening or something that you may have been thinking about doing. So this is something that could help you get there. But overall, I'm seeing you spending a lot of times with your friends, kind of focusing on the people that you care about. So this could also be family, but I see you having a close circle of friends that you're spending your summer. You could be traveling with them potentially, or throwing parties, or just generally, having a lot of good times. If you're going to any kind of event, this is where you might be meeting all these new people and networking. So this is where you might find connections that, again, might open these new doors that previously you haven't had access to. But overall, I see you having fun in the month of June. I think this is the kind of general theme, because it's summertime. The weather is usually lovely. The sun is shining. People tend to travel, going on holidays. So it is the kind of good times period, isn't it? But let's see what the tarot says. So Spirit, what is the good stuff coming in June for my Geminis? What is the good stuff coming in for my Geminis, please, Spirit? What is the good stuff coming in for my Geminis? Let's see. Oh, okay. Impatient, aren't you? All right. So with the Eight of Cups reversed, I see that it was something that you have been thinking about leaving that maybe wasn't fulfilling you anymore. Because it comes under the career cards, I feel like it was maybe a work environment where maybe you didn't feel appreciated, or you didn't feel valued for your work. And you may have been thinking about leaving, but you haven't really been making that decision. There was always some kind of excuse. Maybe you were worried about how you're going to pay your bills. What if the next job is even worse or just as bad, or whatever the excuses you were giving yourself that you kept, that kept you stuck in that kind of unhappy place that you just didn't really feel connected to. You didn't feel motivated. anymore to put that effort in. I see you walking away from that again. And now this is again because you might be receiving an offer that you just can't refuse, that might be just too good to pass up. It might be kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity that maybe you didn't even think that you would ever get. And that's where, that's what makes you finally decide, right, I need to take that opportunity because I might not get it again. With the Page of Cups, so this could be either children, or this could be someone having a crush on you. So someone might be either you might find out from that person or through someone else, and that might be a big surprise to you. Another thing I'm getting is if you do have children, this could be your children surprising you with something. So they could either throw you a party to celebrate, especially if this is a new kind of achievement or a job or a promotion. Or you could be feeling a bit kind of emotional about this, and being, there's that feeling of a bit of innocence, naivety, like you didn't expect that, but it's very sweet, kind of, it just makes you feel loved, but in a way that, because there was no expectation, you again, you didn't think that maybe anybody would even do that, and there's a sense of that kind of sweetness to it. You might have had a bit of intuition about this, and you might be feeling like there's like a sense of that's what I'm getting, like you feel like a little kid, so excited about this surprise, or about this surprise offer, because this, again, if you felt unmotivated in that previous situation, this is something that gives you that, like, oh, I can't wait to start to learn and to do this, because this is what I've been wanting to do my whole life, or something like that, where you just feel that curiosity about things, but it's just that excitement where it's something that you're passionate about. It's something that maybe you're emotional about because it's something that you're closely connected to. As an example, let's say if let's say if you grew up in a foster home and you get the opportunity to work with foster children, this is something close to your home because you've been through that situation. This might be something that makes you feel like you're giving back, and that gives you that sense of gratitude, but also, again, maybe a little bit of nostalgia. But what I'm getting mainly is that there's just that kind of like a childhood feeling, like a little kid again, maybe you get to play around with things that maybe you didn't think you would be able to, something like that, something along those lines. Very, very sweet energy that I'm getting. Then we've got Two of Pentacles. So again, this is where you might have been either having a lot of tasks that you had to prioritize, juggle a lot. There might have been some kind of choices that you may have to make. Because it comes under that friendship card again, what I'm getting is you might be working with someone closely that you already know. So it could be you maybe forming a business with a friend or some kind of business partnership as well. And this is where the networking comes through, that, someone that you meet at a social gathering, some kind of party, or any kind of group of people that you meet, new people, where this might end up helping you in that kind of business endeavor. Someone might be maybe giving you advice how to improve things, because maybe maybe the area that you work in, they may have some expertise and they might be helping you improving your situation so that your work is more effective, you get success more easily or efficiently, something like that. But there is some kind of partnership that I see. It could also be if it is, I'm not really getting all that much of a love situation, but it could be that maybe someone that you are that you are maybe connected, that maybe you knew more as friends and that you were more cordial. You might be getting to know each other, and there could be, with the Page of Cups, which is expressing feelings as well, right? Having some kind of a crush. You might find out that maybe someone that you thought only seen you as a friend actually sees you as more, and maybe they see you as something that they could have something long-term kind of stable with, and this is where you might be exploring that connection. So that's what I'm getting. But let's see what else is the good stuff coming in for Geminis. We've got Six of Wands, so that is either some kind of success and recognition. So again, you're being recognized for your hard work. You might be receiving a reward or some kind of something that celebrates you and recognizes you, something that makes you feel valued. It could be that you are in a spotlight in a way, so you could be either known in your community or in your workplace where you're becoming more visible, or you might be gaining popularity. It could just be also an achievement, so you might not be necessarily known by many, but the people or wherever it counts, you are being recognized for that achievement, for success, something that you're achieving, that you're being victorious, whatever it is that you've been working towards, you're being successful in there. And let's give you one last message. We've got Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is again something that you are working on that maybe you haven't previously seen. The rewards, maybe you were kind of doubting yourself at times. This is where you're starting to see the rewards and the success yielded from that hard work. You could be either working on a business, you could be maybe baking or doing something that gives you some kind of recognition. There's a lot of baking shows, and just because I got the baking, maybe you've been chosen to be on a show that's about baking or cooking, something like that. And just that in itself, you'll be on TV, so that could be something that might happen to you. If that does happen, please let me know below in the comments. I would love to hear about that. But if it's not anything specific, or you being on TV or becoming famous like that, there is something that you have been working on that is bringing you the success and giving you long-term kind of stability. So maybe where you've had to sacrifice through that hard work a bit, and this is maybe why there were times where you were wondering, am I just wasting my time and effort and maybe money? Is this gonna work out? It will be, and this will happen in the month of June for you. So I hope these messages helped, and let's have a look at Cancer. All right, Cancer, let's have a look at your reading and let's see what's coming in for you in the month of June. So, Spirit, what's the good stuff coming in for Cancer in the month of June, please? What is the good stuff coming in for Cancer in the month of June? Let's see. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of repeating messages. It looks like the month of June will be full of opportunities for everyone and lots of fun, which it should be. It's summertime, right? Well, let's get, oh, okay. You get a bonus message. So let's see. So as I said to Gemini, Aries, Taurus, I believe everyone got this card in one way or another. You might be receiving either a new job offer or a new promotion opportunity, something like that, some kind of a career success. So if you are already working on something and you are not moving to a new position, you might just be seeing your business being successful. So whether you are self-employed or you're working for someone, there is some kind of recognition that you're receiving. Maybe a pay rise, you could be receiving a bonus, something like that. But whatever it is, it has to do with your work that will be bringing success and rewards for you. With a young male, I'm getting that either you could be getting a new car, or if you if you don't have a car and maybe you don't have a license and you've been thinking about learning to get that driving license, this will be the time when you will finally get yourself to actually get started. So if this is a period of learning, getting experience, that could be happening for you. If it's not you getting a new car, you might be meeting someone, especially if you're a female, although females, there are women who are into cars. I'm getting it could be someone who may be into cars a lot. They might like fast cars, into like sports cars, or they own a sports car. It could be that maybe this new position brings so much money that you might be able to finally buy your dream car. It could be someone who's younger than you, or just someone who's got that youthful energy. Again, having lots of fun in the month of June, being more social, spending more times with friends, going to lots of events, and just generally enjoying life a bit more, not just working hard, but also enjoying the time outside of work. As I said, that's been coming out for everybody. With the card of destiny, I feel like there's something that you're receiving, some kind of luck, something that you might even feel like was meant to happen. It could be you meeting a person. Now, whether this is romantic or something that helps you elevate in some other way, maybe like a connection that will open up a position or something like that. Whatever it is, you'll know it will feel like it was meant to be the way it happens in the timing either, or when you're just at the right place at the right time. Something like that. We'll see what the tarot says, but again, this could be a blonde female, or you might be a blonde female, someone with blue eyes. With the young person, I'm getting, again, it could be blue or green eyes, but maybe dark haired. But again, it might not necessarily be that, but this could be a clue for you as to who this is. Whoever you meet will be someone who's they're not very serious. They're taking things in a more light way. They have a very optimistic view on life. So it might be someone where maybe if you've been more serious and you finally open yourself up to go out more and have a bit more fun, you might be meeting someone who just shows you a good time. It could be while you're traveling, for example, on a holiday. It could just be like a holiday romance, or someone that just for that, even if it's a short moment, although again, it could be, we'll see what the tarot says for that, but however long or however this applies to you, it will be something that will kind of bring you a bit more of that vitality, that gives you more optimism, because you will see how this person might be a bit kind of happy-go-lucky, and you'll see that all that stress, being all that serious, ultimately you need a little bit of that lightheartedness in your life, and I think this is what the person will show you. But let's see what the tarot says. So Spirit, what is the good stuff happening for my Cancer? Let's see. What is the good stuff happening for my Cancer, please? In the month of June. So we've got 4 of Cups. So yeah, this is a very similar situation, I think, that Gemini got, or Taurus, was it? I think this is just maybe kind of like a collective theme that everybody's feeling maybe unappreciated, undervalued, unmotivated wherever they are. Now, I'm getting mainly this could be in a work kind of situation, work environment, but it could also be a relationship, as 4 of Cups is a card of emotion, right? So it could be that maybe in a connection that you're in, you just don't really feel valued. You might be feeling kind of bored, or just losing interest, or you might feel like the other person might be losing an interest. And this is where something happens, again, whether this is for your work, where some kind of change happens that will improve your situation, that will bring that positivity back, some kind of new opportunities, or in a love relationship, this could be where someone makes the effort or does something for you, maybe takes you out on a date to show you that they do appreciate you, and that will bring the connection back into balance and make you feel loved again and make you feel seen again. So that's what I'm getting, but let's see, what is the good stuff happening for my Cancer. So the Seven of Cups. Now this is a card of choices. So maybe before you were considering other choices. So again, if this is to do in a love situation, maybe the person that you're with that made you feel previously, you know, not very valued or, you know, undervalued, or, and however they made you feel, maybe you started kind of daydreaming and going into there's a bit of that sense of illusion where you might be going into the past thinking, oh, what would have happened if I had ended up with that guy instead of this guy, or that woman instead of this woman, you know, whatever other choices you may had, or you might have been kind of paying more attention to other people, maybe starting to considering your options. This is changing now, that this person, maybe they're seeing you, maybe they're sensing that you're starting to kind of distancing yourself emotionally, and whatever it is that there's them sensing that will kind of kick them to actually do something and show you, you know, that they don't want to lose you, they do value you, they do care about you, and they do want to ultimately keep you, right, and not go for another option. So that's if this is a love situation. Again, if this is anything else, just because it came under that card or the young male card, I'm getting maybe if you are looking for a new car, there could have been so many options. Maybe you were feeling a bit overwhelmed as to, especially if this is your new car, the first car that you're purchasing, that there's so many things that you have to look at and consider before you choose the car that's the right choice for you, right? It's not just about the model. You want to know, is it going to do the thing that I need? Is it going to be suitable for where I live, or the distance, or the frequency that I will be using it for? And this is something that maybe you were kind of struggling with, but there might be someone, it could be someone, either your friends, it could be the car dealer, or whoever that you may be connecting with, that you might be speaking to about this, that might have that knowledge and might actually help you make that choice. So this could be something that they will help you find the best option for you, that will also still make sure that you got the car that you actually love, but that will give you what you need. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing here. And let's see what else is coming to my Cancers. What's the good stuff coming into my Cancers in June? So we've got Three of Wands reversed. So that could have been something where maybe there was a cancelled trip. Maybe there were some delays, if it was some kind of long distance travel, or maybe a holiday, or something where you kind of, again, this could be anything where you maybe kind of lost the vision of the future. So again, whether this is work or relationship, or could be travel in, you know, specifically, there's something that's going to happen that you're either going to let it go in a way, if it is like a travel where maybe you're finding, let's say if you wanted to really go travel somewhere, I don't know, some kind of tropical island, for example, and then you're realizing maybe that's a bit much. I either don't have that much time, or it's too expensive. And you were kind of getting to the point where you thought, oh, we're not going to go anywhere. Maybe you're finding a solution that will still be affordable, or still within whatever the limits that you have, but will actually allow you to still enjoy and, you know, go somewhere. So maybe if you are unable to travel abroad, you will be exploring and having a good time somewhere more locally, and just explore the areas more closer to you. Okay. Let's see what else is coming for my Cancer. So now, whether this is you or someone that you're connecting with now, this is quite interesting, right? Because we've got the card of Destiny, which is the Hand, and then the Seven of Wands, which has, let me see, we can see also the Hand. Do you see that? So this could be again, whether this is you or someone that you're connecting with, where maybe I feel like this is you, that you were maybe keeping a distance from people. You had really strong boundaries and you wouldn't really get anyone too close to you. You are used to, or you were used to keeping people kind of at an arm's length and not really open up too much. With the Destiny card, there's someone that you might be meeting that's going to change that for you. Someone that will make you kind of let your guard down a bit more and actually feel safe and comfortable opening up, and it will just happen naturally. It will be very kind of equal flowing energy where you just, this is what I was saying, where you realize that being too serious and too rigid doesn't always serve you, that sometimes being a bit lighthearted and being more open to things actually will be beneficial, and you'll realize it feels really good sometimes, and this person will naturally ignite that within you. So this is how you get your confirmation. So yeah, if you have been very kind of defensive or on guard, just know that in the month of June, something's going to happen, or some kind of person that you will be meeting that will make you open up a bit more. That maybe someone that you don't want to lose, and you don't want to come across as rigid, and you realize that you need to open up in order to actually have some kind of real, like a deeper connection. So this is what I'm seeing for you. And I think this is really amazing because in a way it's healing, but it's also evolving you. You're growing. It could have been, if it's not like a real romantic relationship type of situation, it could have been something where either a situation, people, or a general environment that made you feel like you had to be guarded, that you had to have your boundaries set really strongly. And I feel like you're relaxing a bit more. Maybe if there was any tension, it is improving. Maybe there's kind of some kind of conflict resolution or something that you might be even walking away from, and just so that you can have that peace for yourself and not always be on guard. Okay, if someone was like criticizing you or anything like that, then you'll just cut them off, because if you're not going to be supportive, then you don't have a place in my life, for example. So that's what I see. Well, let's get a final message for you, Cancer. What is the good stuff happening for you? Oh, and we've got 3 of Cups. So again, with the fun times and 3 of Cups, this is just yet another confirmation that you will have lots of good times. There will be celebration, spending a lot of time with your friends, your loved ones, making connections. Generally, it's just a very kind of positive energy, right? There's celebrations. You might be celebrating whatever this is. I see you, if you do meet someone, that you might be getting together with your friends to tell them all about it, all excited and more open to your friends as well, because maybe before you weren't really forthcoming with what's been happening. Maybe you were very private, and now you're kind of learning to open up a bit more, because you're realizing that sharing is, if you want to learn more about someone, you need to share something yourself so that they feel like, okay, this person has shared something, now I can share something with them, just to give them the sense of safety and comfort, like a safe space as well. So that's what I get for you. But again, I love these messages. They all look very positive, both in terms of work, relationships. It looks like all in all, it's a lot of positive changes, and a lot of leveling up, and a lot of success happening. So I hope these messages have helped, and let's move on to Leo. All right, Leo, let's see what's the good stuff happening for you in the month of June. What is coming in June for my Leos? What's the good stuff coming in June for my Leos? Let's see. What is the good stuff coming in June for my Leos, please? Okay. There we go. So we've got communication. So you might be receiving some messages or phone calls, or you might be speaking to someone online. We'll find out more. It could be a surprise communication. So maybe if someone that you have maybe not spoken to for a while, or someone that you haven't heard from in a while. There will be some unexpected message or communication. But it doesn't look like it would be face-to-face, so it will be either through like a Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, phone calls, messages, Snapchat, whatever you have. Let's see. Money. Okay. So it looks like someone will be getting rich. So what I get is there will be either improvement in your finances. So if this is something that you have been worried about, or you felt like you've been lacking, maybe struggling a bit, there will be some kind of improvement. So whether this is through getting more money through your work, or a bonus, or maybe a support from your loved ones, I see there is some kind of luck that you're getting that will ultimately improve your situation, and it is financial. What I'm getting as well is that you might be, so again, I don't know if this is to do with the communication that you're receiving. It could be someone that maybe, if there's, I mean, obviously there would be likely some kind of past, although who knows, maybe you're receiving a new unexpected message from someone that you don't know. Maybe someone will slide in your DMs because they like the picture when they came across your account, especially if you have some kind of a social media presence. It could be maybe someone who previously wasn't committing to you. Maybe they were playing the field a bit, or treating you as an option. So because this is a good stuff coming in June for you, what I'm getting is this person is deciding to choose you and focus only on you. Maybe so previously it was more of a casual connection. Maybe it wasn't really, maybe there were no labels, but now they want to actually commit to you. And they might be more open with you as well, emotionally, or sharing with you a bit more. So there will be an improvement in a relationship or in the situation that I see. But let's have a look at the tarot. So let's see, what is the good stuff coming in the month of June for my Leos, please, Spirit? What is the good stuff coming in the month of June for my Leos, please? All right, let's see. What is the good stuff coming in for you, my Leos? So we've got the High Priestess. Yeah, so this is in reverse. So High Priestess is very much about secrecy, right? Being withdrawn, kind of keeping your cards close to the chest. So this is someone that might be coming out, maybe revealing some things that were previously hidden to you. This could be something that maybe you intuitively felt. So you could have maybe felt like you might be hearing from someone soon, and then you get a message. So maybe you are intuitive. I mean, I think everybody is in some way, shape, or form on some level. It depends how much you tap into this. But yeah, something's being revealed to you. It could be some kind of confession, even potentially. But it will be something that will make you happy, or something that will improve the situation or this relationship, whatever this is. Let's see. Four of Wands. Yeah, so this goes very much with what I said with about the non-committal situation, that with the Four of Wands, again, this will be very unexpected, but someone might reveal and tell you, I thought about it, or I you know, when maybe you were the one who blocked them, and maybe you decided to unblock this person, and they took the chance when they saw you, and they took advantage and contacted you. It could be maybe you contacted them first, and maybe some kind of heart-to-heart conversation has happened that opened this person up to the point where they actually revealed maybe some secrets. Maybe they opened up more about why they were acting the way that they were acting. But what I see is that they are choosing you, and they want to take this situation to the next level. So again, if this was very casual, maybe like a situationship, or even friends with benefits type of situation, they want to actually commit. Maybe they got too jealous, and maybe they saw you getting attention elsewhere, or when you weren't communicating, and it drove them crazy, thinking maybe you're talking to someone else, and that could be it. Maybe they could see you communicating with someone else, or people actually trying to talk to you, and they realize, you know what, I don't want to miss out on this person. I don't want them to get away, because I do have feelings, and they want to take things to the next level. So there will be some kind of celebration, some good news. Four of Wands is very much like 1111, which is connected to twin flames. So I don't know if this resonates for you, but it could be like a really strong connection. So this could be something potentially that leads to like a long-term stability as well, but it's like a new beginning, some kind of new start for you. Again, the moon reversed is talking about something being revealed, right? So it could have been someone that maybe previously was too anxious, or there was some kind of illusion. What it also talks about is that maybe this person always wanted more, but maybe they struggled to express their feelings, and now they finally got the courage to either tell you how they really feel, or maybe those feelings towards you were hidden from them, and now they're, because of, as I said, if you're getting attention elsewhere, or that's what they think, it could be just like a paranoia, which might be that illusion, even if you maybe weren't speaking to anyone else. Just the thought of that drove them crazy, to the point where they realized, I actually care so much. Maybe that means I do love this person. So this is what's being revealed. So because it comes up under the card of the money, this is where it could be, and it might not have to be financial luck, but just a luck in this situation, because it is also a card of luck. I look at it kind of as similar as a Wheel of Fortune or Ace of Pentacles. It's something that's very significant, but it's a big change, and it's something that can have like a long-term impact. So that's what I see. Now let's see, Leo, what else is coming out for you in the month of June. So we've got Five of Cups reversed. So again, this is where maybe there was some sadness, maybe grieving if you weren't speaking, and maybe you kind of took it as that's it, if this person doesn't want to commit, or there's just nothing really going to happen between us, I have to move on from this, and you were maybe feeling a bit pessimistic. But that communication and the revelation of the feelings and things changing for the better, I can't speak anymore, for the better, will bring healing to the situation, but it will also fill you with more optimism and looking at things from more of a positive view, where you kind of leave the past behind and look more towards the future, when you understand each other a bit better, and maybe forget whatever happened before and kind of focus on that new beginning. So this is why it is like a new beginning, because you're leaving whatever was, because that was maybe a misunderstanding, and now you can start over fresh. So that's beautiful. And then you've got an extra card. So this is what I was saying with the Queen of Pentacles, right? This is long-term stability. It's success. So this could be, again, in a relationship, but this could also be if you are focusing on your finances, if you are working on a business, you might be self-employed, working on some kind of business venture, or just in your work area as well. Your work is paying off and you're receiving success. You might be seeing improvement in your finances, and just generally there is a long-term stability. You're safe, you're secure, you're comfortable. With the Queen of Pentacles, because that's a very because it's the feminine, very nurturing energy as well. So you could have children. So this is where you're focusing on your family as well, and you're balancing both the work and the home and all your responsibilities really well, and you feel very accomplished, like the boss lady. Even if you're a man, then it's the same kind of thing, where if you, for example, are maybe even a single father, or just a father that's taking care of your children and doing a lot of things at home as well. Maybe this is what you're doing, where you're putting your work in, not just in your finances and into your career, but you're also focused very much on your family, being very supportive, caregiver, providing, and ultimately you're feeling very satisfied because this is what you want, because the both Queen and King of Pentacles are very family oriented. So this is where you're doing well and you get to pay your family back. And what I mean by that is that all the hard work that you've been putting into things that are bringing those rewards in, you get to treat your family, maybe take them for a nice lunch or have a nice trip somewhere or a holiday, something like that. And this is where you're all enjoying the efforts and that success. Okay. And then with the Six of Swords reversed, again, maybe there was delay with some kind of travel. I think Cancer had something like a similar message, was that if there was something that was standing in your way, if you were planning some kind of trip. Now this could be like either a flight or some kind of like a longer trip somewhere further abroad. Maybe you were waiting for your passports, or maybe you were worried about them not being finalized, or maybe a visa, something like that. If this is something that was stopping you from traveling or even moving somewhere, I see this is going ahead in the month of June. So you will be traveling now, whether this is you relocating or traveling just for fun, for holiday, or like a business venture. If you were resisting that, for example, I see you now being excited and looking forward to that, because you'll get to explore a new area, learn about new culture, and you'll have that experience. And I think in the summertime is very much just kind of holiday mode, holiday vibes. So maybe you just didn't have a holiday in a really long time, and now you're finally getting one. So if that is the case, then good for you. Enjoy. Remember to pack some sunscreen if you're going to a tropical country or anywhere where the sun is shining, and take that break, because you've been working really hard and you deserve that break. Okay, so that is your message, Leo. I hope this helped, and let's move on to Virgo. Hi, Virgo. Let's have a look at your good stuff coming in the month of June. So let's see. What is the good stuff coming in for my Virgos in the month of June, please? What is the good stuff coming in June for my Virgos, please, Spirit? All right, so you might be either buying a new home, or you might be moving. You might be selling your home, maybe to downsize, or, what's the opposite of downsizing? Increase, level up. Whatever it is, there's something to do with your home. Maybe you're making, if you're not selling or buying, you might just be making some home improvements that will ultimately be for the better. If not, maybe you're getting into the real estate as well. That could be. I also see you going out a lot. This looks like more of a one-on-one type of situation. So this could be romantic. Maybe someone's asking you out on a date. You might be wined and dined, or you might be doing this to someone else. But it looks like there's some romance in the air for you. So I believe this is the first message of like a proper romantic first new love. Although some of the other signs did get some kind of messages of new meetings, but you're the first one getting the actual dating card. So that looks very, very romantic. So this could be someone getting just purely for that romance. I'm getting like a water sign that it could be, or a Gemini potentially, just with that true gem. But what I feel like is, if it's not a brand new thing, it could be someone that you're already connected with, but someone who wants to show you how much they care about you, how much they value you, and that they're really happy to be with you, for example. Or they might be even planning something, maybe a proposal. I just got, just because, right, like I said, this is the first time where this card came through, and it's a very, it has that planned vibe, because all the other connections were very much kind of right place at the right time, but very unexpected, out of nowhere. Whereas this makes me feel like this is pre-planned. Someone put a lot of effort into this. And with the true gem, again, that kind of makes me think of a jewelry, so a ring maybe. So look out for that. If someone asks you out and they have a place in mind where they know where they're taking you, make sure that you dress appropriately. Or again, if you're a male and in a traditional, you would be the one doing the proposing, that then it seems like the month of June, if this is something you have been considering, is the month where you will decide to take that next step and ask someone to marry you, maybe. But again, male or female, anyone can do it these days, right? But yeah, it's if it's not a proposal, I'm getting that there's just two people getting a lot of quality time, and there's just a lot of value to show that this is a meaningful connection, and just spending a lot of time together. And like I said, just making it clear that this is something important to them, which is very lovely. With the communication card, I'm also getting, so again, you might be speaking to someone, you might be receiving messages or phone calls. I keep getting that this is a proposal. And then once this happens, once you have, or someone has that ring on their finger, there will be either phoning everybody, their entire family, to share the good news, or maybe if the family and friends, the close ones already, all the loved ones are already aware, and it's like a surprise just to this person receiving it, they'll be waiting so they can call, and everybody's going to be asking, so how was it? How did he or she, how did they do it? Things like that. So I'm really just getting proposal messages. So yeah. And that could be that if it's not, again, a sale or purchase of a home, or even an improvement, maybe this is someone. Now, whether it is with the proposal or not, it could be a proposal to move in together. So just kind of taking the relationship to the next level, where maybe up until now you have been in your separate homes. So this would be the step where you're gonna get shacked up together and, sharing a new home together. Maybe you'll find a new place to move in together, rather than, if, for example, you couldn't decide if one of you will move to the other, then the compromise would be we'll both move out of our old places and find a new home that suits us both. So that's another thing that I'm getting. And this is why you might be speaking to a real estate agent, maybe to help you find that place, because it might not be purchasing, right? You might be renting, but you still need help with that. So that's what I get from Amira. But Virgo, let's see, what does the tarot say for you? So what is the good stuff coming in June for my Virgos, please, Spirit? Let's see. I'm really getting a repeating theme for all the signs today. So we've got the Emperor reversed. So, the Emperor is very much to do with the structure, right? Buildings as well, taking kind of leadership, order. So what I get is that, again, if there was before maybe some kind of discussions about maybe moving, and again, you couldn't decide whose home is going to be the one, who's going to have to be the one to leave their home. I see that you're going to make a mutual compromise where, again, you're going to find a brand new home that will be new to both of you, that will suit both your needs, and will be able to accommodate. So this might be some kind of paperwork that needs to be signed, a lot of kind of documents. So it will be very official, because it means that because you will both be moving into the same place, whether you're buying or, maybe you're getting a mortgage together. But again, whatever the situation is to do with the home, it will make it significant, because it means both of your names will be on the paperwork. So it won't be just one person taking that risk that the other person then is kind of above them, so if anything was to happen, they are in control. So this is kind of sharing that responsibility, sharing that control over things. There's no one person having dominance over the other, so that's what I get with that. And then you get Queen of Wands, which, because it came under the dating card, is very much feeling attractive, feeling confident. There's a lot of kind of socializing, like an extroverted energy. And I feel like it is, someone making you feel and giving you the confidence by showing you the interest, taking you out and making you feel special, because it makes you feel valued, it makes you feel seen, and that ultimately fuels that confidence that you have, because maybe you were feeling a bit insecure before, maybe you weren't feeling your best. And this is where this person is showing you, no, but you should have that confidence. You are beautiful, you're handsome, you are amazing, you are all that, maybe you felt unattractive, so this person makes you feel attractive, and they kind of set that fire within you where maybe you were kind of losing your spark, and they will reignite that within you. So that's very sweet. So maybe the romantic night might turn into a bit of fiery passion. So just remember, if you're not planning to have kids, stay protected, okay? And this is, I love it when it just confirms. So we've got the true gem, right? Which is, as I said, makes me think of a ring proposal. And then you get the Ace of Pentacles, which is very much a love offer, or sorry, it's an offer, but it's a stable, long-term offer, which if an engagement ring doesn't scream long-term, then I don't know what does. So again, if it's not a ring, like I said, it's just that bigger commitment. It is something that you're taking a step towards together, towards like in your union, that will give it that sense of long-term stability. Like moving in together means that you're together all the time, but also if something was to happen, I mean, you're not really thinking about something, right? You're going into things from the positive point of view, which is how it should be, but it means that this is now getting serious, okay? It shows you that if someone asks you to move in together, I mean, it's a gesture that tells you, I see you as someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I see you as someone I want to build a family with. And, I'm not planning on leaving in a month, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't move in with you. So that's really sweet. And let's see what else is coming out for my Virgos. And we get Eight of Pentacles. So you might be focusing on your work a lot. So if previously you were feeling maybe a bit lazy, or now this could go both ways. Either you have been overworked, and in that case, you're kind of slowing down and taking things from a bit more of a you're taking a bit more balanced approach. Or if you were feeling a bit unmotivated, or you maybe felt like you don't know everything, or things haven't been going as well as you thought, you're choosing to dedicate yourself to that work more. Now, whether this is you working for someone else, or your own business, or it might not even be career in itself, but maybe something that you're working towards, some kind of project. I see you putting that work in to learn more, to master your skill. Now, because this comes under the communication, there might be someone that you're maybe either talking to that might be helping you and being like a guide or a teacher. Or another message that I'm getting is you might be taking advantage of, at this day and age when we've got social media, we've got YouTube, where you can find pretty much anything under the sun, anything you want to learn how to do. You're learning these new skills maybe, or improving your existing skills by either looking it up online. You might be doing some courses, but you are putting more work and dedicating yourself to mastering that skill. So that's what I see. But let's have a look at one last message for you, Virgos, of the good stuff coming in for you in June. And we've got Ace of Swords. So if this is something that made you feel previously either a bit stuck or kind of limited, you might have been putting you might have been limiting yourself. Maybe you had kind of self-limiting beliefs, or there's something that you haven't been seeing or that you have been ignoring. Whether this could be some either red flags or something that you kept yourself stuck. It could have been either a negative self-talk or a bit of anxiety, but it was self-imposed limitation. You're coming out of that. So if you were, let's say you had some kind of traumatic past, something where you were kind of stuck in a victim mode and kept repeating those things, kept making yourself to be that victim, you're coming out of that. I see you releasing yourself from that mental prison. So if it was something that was heavily on your mind, again, if it was either your self-talk, maybe you've been wanting to do something with the Eight of Pentacles. Like I said, if there was something that maybe you wanted to work on, but you would talk yourself out of it. Maybe, oh, I don't have enough. I don't know enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is. You're coming out of that because you're realizing, if I don't, that's okay. I can learn as I go, and I can master the skill with repetition or with practice, or I can take the courses. I can, get some help from someone who already knows, someone who's an expert, who's got expertise in that field, and I can improve those skills. So rather than keeping myself in that kind of negative point of view when I'm just choosing to keep myself stuck in there and limited, I'm now seeing a way out of this, that rather than keep making excuses, I can actually do something about it, and I can do something that will ultimately improve my situation, because in the long term, it will bring me success. So for example, if you're working, as I said, on a business, or you want to start like a side hustle, maybe you have been trying things that haven't been working. I see you where you were at the point of maybe wanting to give up on things, or maybe you already had, and then you decided, I want to go back because I've started it, or I want to start, but whatever was the thing keeping me from achieving this, now I see what I need to do to succeed and to progress towards the success. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you, Virgos. I hope that this has helped, and let's move on to Libra. Hi, Libras. Let's have a look at what is the good stuff coming for you in the month of June. So let's see what Amira has for you. Okay, what is the good stuff coming in for Libra in the month of June, please? So you've got a long distance. So you might be traveling abroad, or there might be someone that you're either connecting to, or someone you might be meeting either while traveling, or someone at a distance, or someone who lives at a distance could be coming to see you potentially. It could be someone that maybe isn't necessarily far away from you, but they might be from a different culture. It could be different background. They could be originally from a different country, and you're just meeting wherever you live. I see that if there was previously no commitment between you two, now if this was like a non-committal person, I see them choosing to commit to you. Or maybe it wasn't necessarily a non-committal person. Maybe things just haven't gotten to that level. So in the month of June, I see things progressing to the point where you might have that conversation. Someone might be asking, do you want to be my boyfriend, my girlfriend? And things are getting a bit more kind of to that level where you're exclusive, I guess. Although I don't know if exclusive means necessarily the same thing as a relationship, but there is some kind of commitment on the table, okay, where maybe previously it was more just like a casual dating. Maybe you were friends with benefits, and now you're realizing that there's feelings that are mutual. Or it could have been like a long distance relationship. So maybe that's why somebody wasn't really sure if they want to get really serious because of that distance. And now they're realizing, you know what, I'm willing to take that risk and see where this takes us. You might also have a bit more of an open conversation where you're sharing with each other a bit more, talking about, how you feel. Maybe if that was previously a bit of a an obstacle where maybe somebody wasn't fully open. I see them opening up as well. Now, again, this is the repeating theme of, so a blonde female that I get. So this could be either you might be dealing with a blonde female or you are a blonde female. Could be someone with green or blue eyes, or you could have a redhead or they could be redheaded. But what I'm getting is, regardless of the gender, or if these things don't have to necessarily resonate, what I get is you are approaching this situation with a bit more kind of laid back, that even if you're choosing to go towards that commitment and see where things take you, you're not really putting that much seriousness you're not putting the pressure onto things. You're just kind of enjoying the connection and seeing where it goes, but choosing to be, entertaining just one another and not seeing other people, basically, or kind of making things clear through that conversation, but still keeping things a bit lighthearted is what I'm seeing. And with the card of destiny is, what I'm getting is that it's some kind of a lucky kind of thing. And again, this came out for a few signs before, where it just feels like either it was meant to be, and maybe that's why you're choosing, despite those obstacles that could be the distance or the different cultural differences or whatever it is that maybe was previously stopping you from committing, where you're choosing to kind of take it as it is and take it in a light way to see, we'll just see what happens, but are both willing to try and take that risk because it feels like, there is like a strong connection between you two, where it just feels like it was meant to happen. Okay, but let's see what the tarot says. So let's see, Libra, what is the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June, please? What is the good stuff coming in for my Libras in the month of June? So let's see. Spirit, what is the good stuff coming in for my Libras? So we've got the Hanged Man in reverse. So there previously maybe were some setbacks, some delays. Maybe there was some kind of sacrifice that was needed to be made. Maybe someone who was at a distance is deciding to move to be closer so that you are able to actually have a chance at this relationship. With the World in reverse, I'm also getting this because the World is a card of travel as well. It is also kind of unfinished business, because it came in reverse, but obviously we're looking at the good stuff that's happening. So this is why maybe you were previously kind of discussing where, if the distance is the issue, or some kind of a cultural, whatever the distance is, whether it's spatial or more kind of metaphorical in that sense. And it would be a bit of a sacrifice, maybe kind of taking the risk. I feel like where you maybe previously thought about kind of leaving it and seeing, seeing the situation as there's just not really, it's too hard maybe, or there would be too many complications. There's some kind of either open conversations that you're having, or someone making some kind of sacrifice because they feel like this is worth it, because they feel like this connection was meant to be, and they want to take that risk. So as I said, they could be moving. If it's not moving, they're coming to see you. So what I'm also getting is if it's someone that you maybe met online and they could be from the other side of the world, they're closing that distance. So again, whether it is temporary or, just uprooting and moving to kind of settle down, to be closer, to have an actual commitment, then this is what I'm seeing. So basically, someone was considering letting go, but they decided they don't want to do that. And they're holding on really strongly. And then we've got the Hermit. So this is the card where it's like the guide, right? It's something where it's the situation where something makes you go within, where you withdraw. So maybe this is where there was no communication for a while, or the communication might have been limited because whether it was you or this other person was needed to kind of review, reevaluate, and kind of think about things. And this is where, they came to the conclusion that they do want to take that risk. Now, this might not have to do with the relationship. This could just be as a separate message, as I get as well, is especially if you are either a blonde or a redheaded female or a male, but these kind of descriptions kind of fit, or even just in general. I feel like you're withdrawing, you're going within to, you're enjoying a bit of solitude. So this is something that you might have done recently or in the past, and now you're kind of coming out back, like re-entering the world again, where you might have needed to take some time to yourself to maybe reevaluate what you've learned, any lessons that you've gone through, any spiritual lessons, any kind of experience that you have gone through. You kind of felt like you needed some alone time. And the month of June is the month where you're going to feel like, right, I've spent enough time alone and I don't want to isolate myself. And you have that sense of wanting to socialize with people more and just spend more time around other people. So that's what I'm getting. You could potentially also be spending more time in solitude if you are not really feeling like you want to go back go and, go out a lot. If you don't feel like it, you might be taking that time in the month of June to do some kind of studying or learning about things. There might be things that you're maybe doing a deep dive into, but again, it could be something spiritual or something that will be for you, for your growth, like whether it's, I want to say as an example, like you might be getting into conspiracy theories, learning about how the world works, or there could just be something that you're taking an interest in, and you're just going to be buried in books and learning about these things. So you might be kind of isolating yourself, or not in like a lonely way. You'll be so deep into things you won't even notice time passing. Maybe people will be asking you to come out, and you're just like, no, I'm too busy, and because you just don't feel like it, you can get yourself away. Maybe you just enjoy reading a lot, so you'll be doing a lot of reading because that will give you that kind of spark, whatever it is. So that's what I see. But generally, if you have already been spending a lot of time alone, then I see you coming out of that. So it just depends on whether you have been isolating yourself and if you have been withdrawn up until now, or if this is the period of time in the month of June where you will be called to withdraw from society and from people around you a bit more. Okay, but let's see. What is another message of the good stuff coming in from my Libra spirit? Right, you don't need that many. All right, so let's see. We've got Justice and we've got the Two of Cups reversed. So if there was some kind of now, if this was a love situation or any kind of legal situation, I see it going in your favor. So there might be things that have been ongoing, and in the month of June, it will be finalized, especially if it is like a divorce or any kind of separation that will require some kind of legal or just, any kind of paperwork, any splitting assets or maybe custody, something like that. It will go in your favor and it will be resolved and finalized in the month of June. If it's not a legal situation, I'm getting that if you're waiting for either a decision about something or you have to make a decision and you're kind of on the fence, I see you making a fair decision where you're putting your emotions about the situation aside and you're being objective so that it is fair to everyone involved. So that could be another thing, another message. what I'm also getting is with the Two of Cups reverse that maybe if you are connected with someone that you have been considering, especially if you either are married already or considering that, because justice is also the card of marriage, right? Maybe you have been talking to someone or to your partner about taking things to the next level, and maybe you weren't really feeling like they really plan on taking things to that. If you do want to get married and maybe the other person didn't want to or never really showed any interest or weren't really indicating that they want the same things. So this might have caused a bit of a disconnect between you two or some kind of disharmony. But if that is the case, then there might be something that will improve the situation, or something that you will be getting over that will ultimately go in your favor. Okay. I'm also getting that if this was a disconnect or a breakup, that you have been, even if it's not like a divorce, but just a breakup, and you have been kind of struggling with that. I see you in the month of June getting over that and healing. You could be even meeting someone new, or just generally having more of a kind of positive outlook on things and seeing things from a different perspective, that you might be seeing why things didn't work out, and maybe you're realizing this was not the person for me, and it will help you let go of that pain that came with it and enjoying being single, but also looking at things and the future with a more positive outlook, having with that sense of hope again, but that's what I get for you, Libras. I hope this helped. And let's have a look at Scorpio now. All right, Scorpio. So let's have a look to see what's the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June. Let's see, what is the good stuff coming in for you, my Scorpios, in the month of June? Spirit, tell me, what is the good stuff coming in for my Scorpios in the month of June, please? So we've got family. So you're either focusing on your family, or you might be spending more time with your family, or you're either joining someone, or you might be growing your family. So that could mean a pregnancy, or you might be adopting a child or children, or joining families. If you already have children, you might be meeting someone who has children, and you might be combining your families together. If it's not to do with the blood-related family, it could just be you spending time with the people that you consider your family, okay? And we've got control. So this could be if you felt like maybe you have been trying to control the outcome of things a bit too much. That would be you trying to release control because you're realizing that it is causing you a lot of stress. It might be impacting your health, and ultimately not everything is within your control. Some things you just can't control, and it's best to just leave it at that. If there's something you can do about it, great, then do it. If not, then just let it go. That's the ultimate thing. And if it's not you releasing control, it might be that you maybe felt like there was something that you've been struggling with, or you felt like you felt a bit hopeless, and now you're taking back your power in the month of June. Another message that I'm getting is that if you're meeting someone, and you might be, again, merging families, or meeting someone that feels like a family to you, or that you see a long-term stability with. So even if you don't have children, you might be connecting with someone. You might have a lot of there might be some steamy nights, and that will be a lot of fun that you'll be having in the bedroom in the month of June. Okay, someone would be feeling very frisky. I mean, Scorpios are quite sexual signs, aren't they? Quite kinky. So that's what I'm getting. You might be exploring, if it's someone that you're already connected with, someone that you're already in an established relationship, you might just be spicing things up in the bedroom by trying new things, kind of exploring your kinks, maybe exploring your fantasies, or telling each other's fantasies, so you can kind of, again, spice things up in the bedroom. Someone might like to be more dominant, maybe. So there might be a bit of that, like a dominant submissive power play element as well. But overall, I'm feeling it's just not just your regular vanilla sex. It will be something very, very hot and steamy. So there might be toys involved, leather, you name it, all the kinds of things that that you might enjoy. Or maybe somebody that you're connecting with might be telling you that they're into things that maybe they haven't told you about before, and they're telling you because they would like to either explore that with you or just experiment and to see, you know, if there is something that you might enjoy together as well. So just to kind of keep things interesting. So that's nice. I mean, summer is usually hot, so I guess yours, Scorpios, will be even hotter. So this might come as a surprise to you. So this might be someone either surprising you by telling you this, that either they have something specific in mind, or they might surprise you by, you know, when you're having, when you're being intimate, being in the bedroom, they might just pull out something like a toy or something that you didn't expect them to, and that they want to try on you. So that could be something like that. But it's coming as a good, in the good things coming in. So I'm guessing, and I feel like you're going to enjoy it very much. And you might even find out something that you didn't even know that you enjoyed, that you will be very much into. Okay. It might just be you also opening up to each other a bit more and feeling more comfortable sharing these kind of, you know, your innermost fantasies, maybe something that you haven't told anyone before, maybe something that you always wanted to try but never really explored with your previous partner. So that could be something like that. And you will be on the same page of that, that you both will be willing to at least try and experiment and explore those fantasies. Okay. Then you get a card of a soulmate. So that's lovely. So you're the first one to get this card today. So again, this is a really strong connection, and maybe this is what it was that before, whether it's you or the other person, maybe before you never felt confident enough to share those kinks or those fantasies that you had, or this person might have had, because whoever they were with before or you were with before never made them feel safe enough, right? Because in order to do things like that, to do any kind of kinky stuff, especially when it comes to kind of dominance or someone taking control and one person being in power and the other one basically giving it away, right? And surrendering the power to the other person completely, it takes a lot of trust, right? And if you don't feel like you can fully trust that person, that you might not feel comfortable doing that. So what I'm getting is that with this person, you have that mutual trust. There is a lot of, there's a lot of chemistry, but there's just that feeling of knowing that you can trust one another, that any boundaries, any limits that you tell each other, that will be respected, because there is that mutual respect. And that's very important when exploring things like that, because it's a very vulnerable side of yourselves, right? So this is what I'm getting, that ultimately it's going to be something that's going to strengthen your relationship even more. And it's going to take it to a whole other level, because you're going to experience something that you haven't been able to experience with any previous person. And it's just going to deepen that connection on all kinds of levels. So as it is a hot summer and the month of June, make sure that you're staying hydrated. Okay. Fuel properly. And as I told someone else before, if you're not planning to have children, because remember the card of family came out. So if you don't have kids or you don't want to have any more kids, make sure that you protect yourself as well. Okay. But let's see what the tarot says. So Scorpios are getting spicy in the month of June. I love it. Most people will plan on traveling and going on holidays, but I'm guessing Scorpios are staying right at home in the bedroom, just never leaving the house all summer. So let's see, what is the good stuff coming in for you, Scorpios, in the month of June? So we've got the Queen of Cups reversed. Yeah, so this is what I was saying. If someone was feeling, and again, if this is you, because even though Queen is the female and the feminine version, the feminine energy, it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female, right? What is saying is that someone was feeling insecure, and maybe there just wasn't that deep connection. There wasn't that trust that was needed. The emotional, maybe previously they were with people that, or you were with people that there was the chemistry and the physical attraction, and it was maybe even like a stable or practical, but there wasn't that deep emotional connection where you could feel like you could talk to one another, that you could open up to one another, that wasn't as nurturing to make you and the other person feel as safe as you feel with this person. And again, this is where in the month of June you're going to be finding it out and realizing that you're going to be strengthening and deepening that even more, but you're also going to explore this further. And this is where you might realize maybe this is something that you never really thought about up until now, where consciously you realize, oh, I never really seen this person as so much different compared to all these people that I've dealt with in the past. So that's beautiful. Okay, so then we've got Five of Wands. So if there was any kind of conflict, now, if this was in the relationship, or maybe could have been a workplace, or any kind of challenges, or maybe even competition, you're going to be overcoming that. And you're going to be, instead of fighting each other or working against each other, you're going to finding a way to work together. There could be compromises, or just kind of, it could have been more like a healthy competition. It could be in a playful way, just because it comes under that control. Maybe you were fighting yourself, or this person was fighting themselves, but I mean, it is coming for you. So it feels like you have been maybe fighting yourself. If this is you who wanted to discuss and maybe open up this conversation about these kings or these kind of fantasies, and maybe you were kind of feeling like, is it a good idea to do that? Because what if this person isn't into the same things? What if I put them off and they realize, or they're going to think I'm a freak? I don't know, something like that. But you're taking that risk and you're opening up, and there's that conversation. Another thing I'm getting is that the challenges might have been because if there are children involved, or more like a family dynamic where you wanted to explore these fantasies, but maybe you couldn't because you wouldn't have enough privacy or the right space or the environment, something is changing. So for example, if you have kids, maybe you're sending them off to a summer camp. Now you've got the whole house together, and you can do it everywhere and anywhere, all day long, all night, because there's no one else to, run into the bedroom or walk in on you in the shower, or whatever it is that you're doing that. Okay. So, that's what I'm getting. And then we've got Eight of Swords reversed. So I believe Libra got that as well. So if there was something, and I believe that was to do with, as I said earlier, with the being open and opening up about these fantasies, where you maybe have been kind of holding yourself back, maybe talking yourself out of it, kind of limiting yourself. That, as I said, it's that kind of negative self-talk where you were kind of giving yourself basically anxiety and being paranoid, thinking, what if I tell this person that I'm into, I want to be submissive and I want them to take charge and throw me, tie me up, I don't know, whatever. And they're not going to be into it. What if it makes our connection worse? What if it, as much as I feel like this person and I have a really strong connection, what if it isn't as strong as I thought it was? So this is what I see, that in the month of June, you're releasing yourself from that self-limiting belief, from this self-limiting, from this self-talk, and you're just taking that risk to see, what, I'm going to open up and if they receive it, great. It also is very much about how I put this information across, right? You could be, if you say like, I would like to try it, rather than this is what I really, really want, not to make them feel pressured, and just to see like, is that something, like you can bring it up in a kind of playful way and see how they react and kind of get a feel. And this is what will kind of spark up that conversation, because they might surprise you in how they receive it. Maybe when you mention it, just to kind of see like, imagine me tying you up or you tying me up, and you see their eyes light up and you're realizing, oh, okay, I guess they are into it. So, so this is what I see happening, that whatever some kind of limitation there was, you're releasing yourself from that. Okay. So let's see what else is the good stuff happening for you, Scorps. We've got the Hierophant. So, again, with the soulmate card, and then we've got the Hierophant, right, which is very much like a traditional card. It can also talk about marriage. So this could be someone where, now, if it's not to do with, with kinky stuff and like a bedroom things and sex, it could just be that there was some kind of situation that maybe someone wasn't really feeling understood. Maybe there was some kind of disconnect due to these. Maybe there could have been arguments, some kind of challenges, obstacles, and someone was feeling kind of stuck, and maybe they're releasing themselves from that. You're releasing yourself from that. There's something that comes in for you. So if this was a relationship, and again, this is a separate message from where whoever the Scorpios are that are getting really kinky, okay, somewhere over there, then here you are. Maybe you and your family maybe didn't feel valued. Maybe there was a lot of drama. Maybe you felt stuck in that situation, in that relationship. And what I see, if that is the case, that you're releasing yourself from it, you're receiving some kind of support. So this could be like a gift, some kind of surprise help, or some kind of situation, or there will be something that will open up the way for you. So let's say if this was someone that you have been with that was maybe controlling you, someone who was domineering over you, could have even been like an abusive type of situation, abusive relationship. And this is where you maybe have felt afraid to leave, especially if there were children involved. There is some kind of something will happen in the month of June that will open the door for you, and you will see a way out. Now, whether this is you yourself, where you previously kept yourself stuck, or maybe you were ignoring the signs because you kept telling yourself, oh, they don't mean it, they hit me, but no, he still loves me, or, whatever it is, or she, you're dropping that blindfold, you're seeing things clearly, and this is what opens, your eyes are now being wide open. This is where you're taking back the control, and you're releasing yourself from that situation, and you're walking away. And this might actually lead you to meeting someone. You might be receiving help from someone who will turn out to be your soulmate. So that could be another message. But ultimately, I see there is a great connection that's coming through, some kind of strong connection that could lead to a marriage and a long-term situation. Or it could be that you're receiving help maybe from like a spiritual person. That could be maybe if you're religious, it could be, from your like a community, something like that, where you might be seeking shelter. Anything like that. The Hierophant also signifies learning spiritual lessons. So that could be you learning something where maybe you've been dealing with these types of people that were toxic or even abusive, and you're learning that lesson now. Now you know how to spot these signs, and you learn not to ignore the red flags. You're learning to see it for what it is. And you know that going forward, whoever you meet, you will never end up with a person like that, because you will be able to recognize those patterns, those signs, those red flags, if it is someone like that, because you wouldn't you wouldn't stay, you wouldn't entertain that anymore, okay? Especially if it's someone who's controlling or even abusive or like a narcissist, all right? And the last message of the good stuff coming in is the Hermit. So again, this would be where you might be releasing yourself from a situation, and you will be taking the time to isolate. You would be withdrawing from people, and you're just kind of on a soul searching kind of journey where you're going within, you're integrating all these lessons that you have learned. And for that, you just need to stay away from people. You're not jumping into new connections. You're staying single so that you can appropriately heal, but also make sure that what you've learned is embedded in you so that you know that you will never have to go through that ever again. Okay. If it isn't some kind of like a toxic situation that you have released yourself from, then I believe same thing came out for Libra, was that you might be spending time to either learn some things or kind of have a deep dive into things where you're just focused on yourself, doing some kind of either education, maybe over the summertime if you are in school, or have any kind of tests or exams ahead of you. You're spending the month of June buried in the books, learning so that you can nail those exams, okay? And if you do that, I see those going really well for you and you being successful. On the other hand, if you have been already kind of feeling like you have been isolated, that you haven't really been very social, then the month of June might be the month where you're feeling like you want to come out of that hermit mode, that you want to actually spend more time around people again, because you've done all that work, you've done all this, and that would tell me that maybe you already had exams. So if it was the end of the term or whatever it is, if you're not in school but have to do any kind of exams or taking a test, that you've taken it, you've spent a lot of time doing the work, you've passed, and now you get to come out, rejoin the society again, socialize again, and have some fun again. Okay, so that's what I've got for you, Scorpios. I hope this helps, and let's have a look at Sagittarius. All right, Saggy, so let's have a look at your month of June. What's the good stuff coming in for you? So Spirit, what is the good stuff coming in for my Sagittarius in the month of June, please? So let's see. Oof, I think I saw something. Let's have a look. True love. So you're the first sign that's got this card today. So you might be meeting someone that will be a real strong connection, pure connection, something really, really significant. Or if you're already connecting with someone, this might be either going to the next level, or it might start to kind of deepen and get to the point where you're realizing this might be it. This might be the one. All right. And then we've got the dating queen. So you might be getting a lot of attention. A lot of people might be asking you out. A lot of people might be offering you different opportunities. Doesn't have to be necessarily romantic, but you're the center of attention. Everybody likes you, which if there is a connection that you're in and you feel that strong connection and it makes you smile, everything is beautiful, you see everything in a rose colored, everything, all the colors are brighter because you're so in love. You have that glow about you that is magnetic and it attracts other people. So this is why you might be getting all that attention. If it's not, even if you're not really connecting with someone, it could be that you're receiving so many offers from so many people. One of them could be the person that you might end up connecting to, and this could lead to something, because I've also got the new love. So that again tells me that you might be getting lots of prospects and you might have been rejecting some, obviously, unless you're playing the field and, dating around, which you could. If you're single, then why not? You got to vet these options, right? But what I get is that you're meeting someone new. because it's new love. So you might not know this person yet. I mean, it is coming for June, so this should be a prediction that you will be meeting them in the month of June. And this will be something that will grow into a real, true connection that could actually go the distance. Okay. And with the gifts, it could come as a surprise. So if it is someone that you already are aware of, maybe you didn't know that they feel that way about you, or maybe they don't know that you feel that way about them. It could be that you're getting all this attention from all these people except from the one person that you like, and something happens where, you know, it's usually like that. Sometimes it can happen that people, when they see, even if they like you and they see that you're getting so much attention from so many people, they feel like there's too much competition, and so they might not even try, they might not bother. But there would be something that's going to happen that will reveal the feelings, that they are mutual, and that will ultimately lead to that true love for you. Okay. And again, if you don't know this person, you don't know them yet, you will be meeting them, and it will be a surprise connection, surprise meeting. It could happen. I mean, you might just be at the right place at the right time. It could just, maybe someone will introduce you, and it could be someone that you never knew that they had in their circle. You could be meeting them while you're traveling on holiday, you know, anything like that. We'll see what the tarot says about that. Okay, but that's a first. That's a first kind of. I mean, we did have different messages. We did have the kinky Scorpios. We had some proposal messages, but this is like the first actual true love, new love kind of card. So we'll see. So we've got the moon. Yeah, so it is hidden right now. You don't know this person yet, or if you do, again, as I said, there might be some illusions. So if you already are in each other's orbit, one or the other doesn't know that the feelings are mutual. With the Ace of Wands, again, this is normally like a false start kind of card, right? It's something that doesn't seem like there is really the passion, or, you know, whatever, there's no beginning, because there's like as if something is missing or is one-sided, or because Ace of Wands is also the card of the passionate one, right? So maybe someone presented themselves, and at first the other person took it as, or someone presented themselves to you and you took it as of, oh, they're only interested in one thing, and then they might surprise you. Maybe they'll give you a gift or some kind of offer or something that will make it clear that they see you as a lot more than that. And that will be, that's something that's hidden right now that will be revealed in the month of June. So it will come as a surprise, but I mean, that sounds like a pretty good one. So keep an eye out on that. If someone seems like they're only after one thing, you know, hear them out. Okay. They might surprise you. Well, let's see what else is the good stuff. Well, let's see. So here we've got the Hierophant, and with these cards, all I'm getting is that there's something that's going to lead to a commitment, and it could be something very traditional. So something that, obviously, I'm not saying that you're going to get married in June if you only meet in that month, although, you know, that's what Las Vegas weddings are for. Have Elvis marry you, but no, I mean, you might be meeting someone that in the long term it will get to marriage. It could also be you just becoming more spiritual, in the sense where you're learning a lot more. You're learning a lot of spiritual lessons. You're opening yourself up to things, being generally more open to understanding and wanting to understand things, and having that kind of more open mind. But it is a lot of about traditions as well. It could also be you're receiving some kind of guidance, or having some kind of teacher, maybe someone. Now I'm getting that this could be potentially someone that, I mean, I don't know if you find your true love as your teacher. Hopefully, if that's the case, then there's not a massive like an age difference for you. But again, love has no bounds, or whatever the saying is. But what I'm getting is that maybe you used to overthink, and maybe you used to think about like, how am I going to meet the one? How do I know this is the one? And there's always been a lot of questions, and maybe this is where you might be watching a lot of tarot or getting that kind of, like I said, looking, kind of diving deep into spirituality, so that when it hits you, you won't see it coming, and then you'll just know, and it will answer all these questions for you. And that'll be it for you. That's what I'm getting, really. But let's see what else is the good stuff coming in for you. So we've got the Tower reversed. So there could have been something that you might have been avoiding. Maybe you were avoiding some kind of ending. Now this might not have to do with a relationship. This could just be you avoiding seeing things from a different perspective, or some kind of sudden change. I mean, towers are not always bad. So this could be, and I mean, because it's actually, the thing is, this comes right under the gift card, and every time it comes, it clarifies that card, right? So the Tower is like a sudden change, sudden upheaval. And what I'm getting out from that is that the sudden, which is like, it's a surprise, it's going to come as a surprise. But what I'm getting is that when it does happen, you realize that on some level you sensed it, you felt it coming, maybe through your intuition, or it could have been, there's something that's going to happen. Let me see. If you were avoiding something in the past, you're no longer avoiding things like that, because, and this could be anything, right? Maybe you had a very rigid point of view at things, maybe how love should be, or how you should meet someone, or who that person should be, or what they should look like, whatever it is. And through that spiritual kind of, you being more open to the spiritual things, and generally being more open-minded, you're no longer doing that. You're being more open to change, right? You're not resisting it as much. So when that happens, and this is why it will show up, and this is why it will happen, because you will be more open to experiencing something new. However, whenever it shows up, you're not being resistant. And that's when you release that resistance, because that's the path of least resistance. It will open up that way, which might make you more open to, maybe you were resisting this person because you thought they were just after one thing, and then you'll be kind of thinking, oh, we'll see what happens, because maybe you're not so set on how they should approach you, or maybe what you're after, or I don't know, whatever it is. Then you being more open will ultimately make the person feel more welcome, kind of energetically, to come forward and actually open up. That could be it. Maybe you were just too closed off, and you open it up actually means that you'll be able to have that conversation that will lead to you finding out that they actually do have feelings, and it's not just them thinking with their dick, or, just wanting sex from you. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. It could also be that maybe someone that you've burned the bridges with, maybe you cut them off, and what the Tower is in reverse, it's also rebuilding the foundation. So maybe you thought that there was no basis before, and with the Tower in reverse now, after having that conversation, you're going to start over, you're going to get to know each other slow. So it could be maybe someone that you have been like friends with benefits, or you maybe just hooked up and that was it, and then you thought, that's not really what I want, so you kind of walked away from that. And then that opening up will allow you to actually take things slow this time, maybe not rush to the physical side, and get to know each other more on the kind of intimate, but more on a like emotionally intimate level, and doing, all the other things. Maybe you'll tell them, this time before we jump to bed, take me out on a date, court me, bring me flowers, and not just a condom because you were that nice, something like that. So that will ultimately build a solid foundation so that you can actually have a stable commitment, something that will lead ultimately to the long term and could even go to the marriage. So that's what I see. But let's have a look at the last message of the good stuff coming in for you. So we've got the Nine of Cups reversed. Yeah, so if there was something that you were unhappy about, which again, this could be to do with the previous situation that you thought didn't work out, maybe you were kind of overindulging, or you felt like it was a very shallow connection, again, because you thought maybe someone was just attracted to your looks, but not really valuing your other qualities, not really seeing other qualities. There will be, or, maybe you really wanted that person, maybe it led to disappointment, and, what you saw as your wish fulfillment ended up, felt like like your dreams were shattered. This is going to change again in the month of June. Now, this could be in terms of a relationship, but it could also be, if you were being too shallow, or you were overindulging and being a bit more ego driven, and maybe overspending and just focusing too much on things that make you feel good, but it was a very short term kind of, like a instant gratification. You're coming out of that and realizing that there is a need to be kind of, you have to look at the deeper things that actually have a meaning. Okay. Another message that I'm getting is that maybe you were feeling lonely, being single, you really wanted that. And this is what I'm getting with that Hierophant, right? Where you were kind of diving deep, wanting to know all the when, how, when is this person going to show up? How do I meet the one, and all that? And you coming out of that codependency kind of energy, where you're feeling lonely, like that desperate need of connecting with someone, and you're learning to be happy on your own, and you're owning that, single, happy, just enjoying your own company, and not feeling the need to always have someone to connect with, or, feeling like you're any less just because you're not in a relationship. You releasing that could also ultimately lead you to meeting the right person, and the someone that will ultimately be your true love. So in the month of June, there will be a lot of changes, and it will be a lot of how you see the world, but also you learning the lessons of how you see yourself, and the self-love, because the true love could also be the true love for yourself. And that's another thing I'm getting. Okay, so if there's no one that you're currently connecting with, remember, you got to learn to love yourself before you can love someone else. And the more love that you pour into yourself, it teaches the people around you how to love you, and that will open up the path for the right person to show up in your life. Okay, but those are the blessings and the good stuff that I see for you, Sagittarius. And let's have a look at Capricorn. All right, Capricorns, how are you doing? Let's see what is the good stuff coming in the month of June for you. What is the good stuff coming in for my Capricorns in the month of June, please, Spirit? Let's see. What is the good stuff coming in for my Capricorns in the month of June, please? Oof, we've got passion. Things are getting steamy again. I mean, Capricorns, you are connected with the card of the Devil, which is the card of lust. So it does make sense that in the hot month of summer, of June, sorry. Well, it's a summer hot month, right? In the most part of the world. I guess it will be even hotter wherever you are, or wherever you will be in the month of June. You might be having some kind of connection with, could be potentially with someone at your work. So that could be your co-worker, could be your boss, or you could be getting adventurous and just have fun in the workplace. That could also be a thing. I mean, people do all kinds of things where they're feeling like it, right? Just to spice things up. But what I'm getting is there is a lot of chemistry between you and someone, and there's going to be a lot of passion. So you will be spending a lot of time I mean, in the bedroom or whatever you choose to do the deed. I don't see you traveling much in the month of June, as you will be busy getting down to the business. So again, as I said, this could be with someone that you're connecting either from work, and it could even take place in the workplace. If you're feeling that adventurous and, you know, like the thrill a bit. It could also be someone that you've met at work or met through work. So it might not have to be necessarily someone that you're directly working with, but you may have met them through a work. So it could be, let's say, your coworkers' connection, you know, that you might meet any kind of way, but it's somehow connected to your work. Okay. With the karma, it could lead to new opportunities. I hope that it doesn't mean that you're sleeping your way through to a promotion or something like that. But hey, if that's how you do it, then, you know, if that works for you, if that gets you where you need to be, then by all means, you do you. Okay. But there is some kind of opportunity that you're getting. And I mean, it's the good stuff, right? Message. So what I'm getting is that what might start as a passionate thing, so it could just be like a hookup or like a friends with benefits kind of thing, it will lead to something. It will lead to an opportunity of, there will be at least that potential of having something more with the true gem, where you maybe, you know, the more time you spend together, the more you get to know each other, and the more you realize that there is more to this than just the physical, than just the pure animalistic kind of passion, that there's just you know, that you actually appreciate the person, that you see their qualities or they see your qualities, and that you could have something more if you both choose to do so. So that's what I'm seeing, but let's have a look at the tarot and see what other messages we can get. So let's see, Spirit, what are the good things coming in from my Capricorns? Let's see. How much sexier can this reading get, right? All right. Spirit, what is the good stuff? All right, so we've got Three of Wands, and then we've got Three of Pentacles. And then we've got Justice and Five of Pentacles, but the way they came out, I think this is how we're looking at it. Right. So I'm going to pull out the last card after this. So with the Three of Wands, what I'm getting is you might be either spending a lot of time together. So you might be spending time, you know, at their place, or, I mean, this is for you. So I see you with the card of packing, because Three of Wands, you can mean traveling. It can be a lot of anticipation of something. So I feel like you're getting excited. So even if it starts as just like a passionate thing for that moment, and I think because this is how the connection is growing for you, because what I feel is that you're, you know, coming over to their place and having a passionate night, but obviously you're not just having sex 24/7. So in between those times and the moments where you need a break or need to hydrate or eat some food, you wouldn't just be sitting quietly, right? So you would be having conversations, and the more that you're learning about each other, the more that you're getting to know each other, the more time that you spend together, you're getting that kind of, I mean, that excitement. You're always looking forward to seeing them, and with that anticipation, what I get is that you're starting to see the vision of something more that this could lead to, and you might maybe even have that conversation about it, that it's not just you, that it's them as well, and that you know, you get on really well. Now you've got the card of work, right? And right underneath came out the Three of Pentacles, which is a card of collaboration, teamwork. right? So it has that work in it as well. And it's just, so if it's not to do with the workplace, it could just be talking about you working really well together, and you're realizing that the more time that you spend together, you're realizing that you have such a good connection that you actually work really well as a team. Let's say, when you get hungry and you need to eat, because you're already together, maybe you decide to cook a meal together, and you work together in that sense really well. Or whatever you're doing, you start spending more and more time together and doing more of these kind of daily, kind of normal type of couple things. And this is what's gonna kind of naturally lead to the point where you might be questioning, are we still just hooking up, or is this something more? So what might start as a physical thing, physical connection, might actually grow into something more serious and committed. With the Five of Pentacles under that karma, which can also talk about the, toxic story. So maybe the reason why it started as just a physical connection, maybe maybe you or both of you didn't really want to commit. Maybe there was a lot of that non-committal energy because of either negative past experiences, where maybe you've only dealt with toxic people. So you thought, I'm not going to waste my time on trying relationships. I'm just going to get what I need and be happy with that. And what I feel like is you're kind of, maybe you've been rejected before, or there was some kind of, maybe you felt abandoned. And because of these abandonment issues, you were protecting yourself by only keeping things very surface level. And, you would bare your body before you would bare your heart and your soul, if that makes sense. So through spending the time together with this person, especially if there was more of a distance, which would mean that if you were going to spend time together, it wouldn't just be in and out and, spending an hour together. It would be a bit of if I'm going to see you, I'm going to have to spend the night. And this is why it would give you more of a chance to actually get to know each other better, whether you like it or not, because either you get that or you don't get laid. And this is what I'm getting, is that you're releasing that, kind of fear of having to do things alone, because either people will always abandon you, or, it will never work out, and ultimately you'll end up alone and in a worse position because you get hurt, and you end up, because the Five of Pentacles is a card of hardship, right? It could be, so what I mean is, this is basically where you realize that you can open up. You don't have to be afraid of ending up alone on, kind of on like a cold, hard floor, abandoned, hurt, and with no one there to help you and support you. Now, if this isn't a message about a love situation, what I'm also getting is that if you have been experiencing any hardship now, whether this is financial or just generally you have been struggling, this is going to improve in the month of June. And this will be through you receiving some kind of new opportunities. That might be either a new work offer, could be new position, promotion, something that's gonna improve your stability and your situation for the better in June. Okay. And this could be also leading there through either work connections, or you just focusing on that, teamwork and collaborating with someone. So this could be either starting a new business venture, or teaming up with someone on some kind of project, something like that, that will ultimately open the doors for you and lead to some kind of financial income or some kind of improvement in your stability. Okay. And then with the card of Justice, so again, if this is a romantic situation, like I said, with the gem, with the jewelry, always makes me think of a ring. So if it is something that, whether it started as a purely physical, friends with benefits, or purely like a sexual connection, might actually lead to a commitment and potentially to a proposal or a marriage even. Okay. If it's not that, if you're having any either legal issues or there's any kind of dealings, maybe you're waiting for some kind of decision that will go in your favor because you are valued. So let's say if this is you waiting for an outcome for a job application, or you've gone through an interview and now you're seeing, are they going to pick me or someone else? It will be a fair decision, but it will go in your favor because they will see your value. They will see the qualities that you have, and that's why they will choose you, not because of any favoritism or if you do sleep with your boss, but they will choose you because you're the right person for that role. Okay. So that's what we have. And then let's have a look at the last message. So we've got the Page of Cups in reverse. So that could talk about some kind of either emotional immaturity, which again could be that maybe you were previously not really open to emotional connections. It could also talk about you potentially meeting someone young or younger. Could be a water sign. Another thing I'm getting is that you're learning about someone having a crush on you. Someone's revealing. So someone that was previously holding it back, they were hiding it, is deciding to come forward and, you know, letting it be known that they do feel some kind of way about you that you didn't know about. If you were worried about some bad news, or you have received some kind of bad news, there will be something good coming out of that that will ultimately make you feel better or soften the blow. So again, that's because it's like a emotional offer, or it could be a start of something creative. Maybe maybe you work in a healing field, or maybe you're an artist, and that was something that before you weren't really putting much effort into. So what I see is that maybe in the month of June, you are focused on that, and you might be starting to kind of put more work into this to maybe get it to the next level, whatever it is, just, you know, that you're working towards, any kind of success that you want from that you're focusing on that to either learn that skill more, or present it a bit more, offer it to people, or in some kind of way where you might be presenting it in a way that will actually get you, might open again new opportunities for you that might bring money, especially with that Five of Pentacles makes me think like a starving artist. So maybe something that wasn't working out for you and panning out, where you were struggling because you were maybe thinking about giving up on that and maybe just get like a normal job that has that security. If this wasn't really the most secure thing for you, I see in the month of June, you will be getting some kind of new opportunity that will actually open the door for you towards you getting to that next level and getting back into some kind of stable position. So for example, if you're painting, someone will be buying your paintings, and that will, you know, maybe for a lot of money, or maybe a lot more money that you thought. So again, you might be selling your artistic products, or whatever it is that you're doing will bring some kind of positive rewards for you. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Capricorns. I hope this helped, and let's move on to Aquarius. Hi, Aquarius. Let's have a look at the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June. Let's see what's coming in for my Aquarius. What is the good stuff coming in for you in the month of June? So we've got the Ice King. So what I'm getting is, if that's you, you might be, if you're a boss or entrepreneur, you might be getting some good, there might be, your business might be successful in the month of June. If that's not you, you might be meeting someone who is either self-employed businessman. That makes me think of an air sign. So that would be your Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. It could be someone, if it's not, it doesn't have to be. It could be someone who's just very kind of detached. They look quite serious, not very emotional. So they might come across that way to you. And you might not realize at first, but so this might be a new person that you're meeting that might have feelings, as we've got the new love card coming out. So this might be someone that you don't know yet that you will meet in the month of June. I also see you spending a lot of times with friends, or so that would be either you making new friends, networking, socializing. But what I'm also getting is that you meet a new person, and the prospect for new love will be there, but you will be taking things slow. So you will start as friends, so it won't go straight to, from the friendship and passion. What I'm getting is that before you decide to be physical with that person, you want to get to know each other on a deeper level, just by kind of spending time together and keeping things very light, but also not getting too close, if I can say that, especially because if this person is quite detached and they might not be the most emotional, so they're not used to expressing their feelings that much. Maybe you don't feel maybe not comfortable, but you want to kind of crack them open first, and that you can do by, not really putting any pressure on that relationship and just kind of seeing how things go. And then, one passionate night that could be, or you might meet someone that it starts as a friendship, and then that friendship might lead to a passionate night, maybe a hookup that will end up being, a love situation. But let's see what the tarot says. Let's have a look. So Spirit, what is the good stuff coming in for my Aquarius in the month of June, please? Let's see. What is the good stuff coming in for my Aquarius in the month of June? We've got the Six of Swords. Okay. So you might be traveling in the month of June. You could be traveling abroad. You might be flying somewhere. Now, whether this is a business flight or just going on holiday somewhere nice, far away from where you are. And then I see you making plans for that. You might be in the month of June, you either are traveling or you are making plans to travel potentially later in the year. But this would be the time where you might be taking those steps towards that. So maybe that's when you're booking your holiday, anything like that. And then we've got so you might also be meeting this person while you're traveling abroad. And with the King of Cups reversed under the new love, this is again just confirming what I said, because it's the King of Cups is someone that doesn't show or express their feelings, right? Or it could be someone who gets easily overwhelmed by emotions. So that makes it that much harder for them to express it. So this is what I feel like to you. They might come across as very aloof, and maybe you don't see them, or you don't think that they see you as anything more than friends, because they don't show it. They don't show any feelings towards you. They're treating you very much kind of from a, they're honest and open, but very kind of serious looking. So they don't give off that vibe that there's anything more going on. But again, there will be some kind of growing thing that will ultimately lead to a passionate moment, night. Maybe maybe the chemistry builds over time, or over time is when they let it show. But what I'm getting is, if it was someone that you have already, even you might have already known them, and you always consider them as just friends because of how they came across, this is going to be changing in the month of June with the Death card. There will be some kind of transformation. And ultimately, it could also be where you're going from, where you need to consider, are we willing to cross that line of that friendship? Because if things don't pan out, then we're losing that friendship. You can't go back. And what I'm seeing is you will be very much willing to cross that line, to have some passion, because the chemistry will be too strong. So maybe that's what it is, that you also kind of feel like maybe they are, they find you attractive, you do find them attractive, but you just don't feel like there's any deeper emotion than that because they just never showed it. But after you connect on that physical level, because it's in a way of becoming vulnerable, right? It's also when people are more open to that pillow talk where they might reveal more, and then it will kind of create a certain bond in a way where they might open up a bit more as they feel more safe with you, as they, because with the seven of wands, underneath that passion card, which is very much kind of being defensive, having your guard up, having strong boundaries, and keeping people at an arm's length, keeping a distance. You don't let anyone getting too close. So if this is you, potentially, like I said, this could be you, that maybe you have been coming across as that, and maybe you have been scared too, or just maybe not very comfortable with feelings. So that's why you would never really get anyone too close, because maybe people would get too emotional and you just didn't really know how to deal with it or how to handle it. Because I mean, Aquas, that's you, isn't it? So I guess that's talking about yourself. So even if you're not a man, even if you're not a boss or entrepreneur, this can just talk about how you're very fair, you're very kind of rigid in your ways, and you can come across a bit aloof. So this person that you have this friendship with, when it comes to the passion, it will make you feel more vulnerable, and it will open you up in some way that will actually lead you to kind of, again, it's the kind of sharing. I said that to one of the signs earlier. I don't know if it was Gemini or Taurus, maybe, that when you do get close on a physical level, and you have that kind of bond where you already bared yourself, you feel more inclined to actually slowly open up. And yes, it may be step by step. It could still be some kind of friendship, but as you're spending more time together, it could, happen after like a one-off kind of fling, or it could be someone that you're seeing on that kind of a friends with benefits basis or no strings attached. But as you go, you're realizing there are strings that are being pulled, and they are being pulled on your heart. And that's where you're kind of letting your guard down, and maybe opening up a bit more and letting this person getting a bit closer to you. Okay. If it's not necessarily like a physical thing or like a romantic situation, it could just be that maybe even with your friends or the people around you that you connect with, you never really let anyone get too close, or you never let anyone to get to know you properly, because yes, you may be a bit mysterious and all that, but then if you don't share anything, people don't really feel like sharing with you. And maybe that makes you feel a bit kind of on the outside, you don't have that kind of close connection with people. And this is where you're realizing that you do need to let your guard down a little bit, and you need to let at least those people, obviously don't open up just to anyone, but what I see you is realizing that there are people that you do want to connect with, and with them, you are slowly but surely open it up. That Ice King is slowly melting, okay, until his pink warm heart is being revealed. So that's nice. Let's see, what other message do you have for the good stuff coming in for my Aquarius? Okay. Don't tell the other signs you're getting 4 extra cards, but okay. Let's see. So there's some kind of long-term stability with the 10 of Pentacles. Either it's like a family thing, something that's like a generational thing. So this could be you breaking a generational trauma or generational curses, something that's been going on that maybe in your family, maybe the reason why you've always been so closed off and not really letting people in was because this is how you grew up. Maybe this is what everyone in your family, this is what you have seen with your parents. They wouldn't really let you in. They wouldn't really be emotional with you. And this could be something that you're the first one in your family that actually is, changing. And this is ultimately breaking the generational trauma. If it's not that, it could be some kind of big financial success or some kind of big stability. You could be getting an inheritance. With the family, I mean, 10 of Pentacles is very much kind of practical, but also like a generational thing, right? That can be legacy. So you might be building a legacy, again, if you are a boss or an entrepreneur. So maybe you're gaining so much wealth and so much success that will sort out not just you, but the future generations. With a Knight of Cups in reverse. So what I'm getting is, and it's funny because again, it's right under the New Love and under the King of Cups reversed. So this is where, again, right, it all aligns. And I guess this is why all these cards had to come out for you. If you previously were very much closed off and you felt overwhelmed and uncomfortable with either you expressing emotion or other people doing that, talking about feelings, and this is why you often wouldn't come towards things, or this is why you were very non-committal and not really open to like a real stable relationships. What I'm getting is that this might be changing for you, and you might be moving on from that old way of thinking, from the old trauma, all the baggage that you had in the past. You're moving on from that as a changed person who, yes, you can still be serious and calm on the outside, but now you know that in the month of June, you will learn that to the right people, it is safe to open up. Okay. And again, this could lead to actually you wanting to commit and wanting to have something real and something more emotional. So maybe before, where you weren't looking to approach someone, is where you might be actually making an offer to someone, or someone might be making an offer to you, ultimately leading to the new love. Okay. With the Knight of Swords reversed, again, so if you were stressing over some kind of either friendship situation or some kind of connections that might not necessarily be romantic, there was some kind of ending and new beginning, because death is about cycles, right? Something has to end for something new to begin. You need to close off a certain chapter. You need to make a certain change. And I see you doing that in the month of June. And it was something that before would cause you a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. It could be something that could cause you sleepless nights, whatever this is. Maybe dealing with people. Maybe you had like a social anxiety, or just didn't really feel too comfortable around people that much. So you might have been fairly isolated as well, and just kind of avoid social interactions where things might get a bit too emotional because you just didn't like dealing with it. And this is where you're learning and you're getting over that, and you're getting in a better place mentally. So if this was some kind of situation where maybe you were even, if it was even something that led to depression, again, if this was to do with your past trauma or anything like that, I see that improving, because you're letting go of the old version of you. You're letting that old you die, and the new you is being born, or reborn, should I say, where you're finding that balance. And you know now that it's not always that bad. And sometimes having that emotional connection is actually good and can be satisfying, can be fulfilling. So that's what I'm getting here. And then with the Two of Pentacles, it's very practical. But again, it is that kind of sense of, if you want to connect with someone, maybe it all comes down to you, as much as you were avoiding people and maybe just kept like casual friendships, or just more of acquaintances rather than real deep, close friendships, because you had trouble connecting and opening up to people, because you let your guard down. You are finding that balance within you, but it will also open you up to actually connecting with people. And this could all be coming down to maybe you craving that connection with someone. And Two of Pentacles can be looked at different ways, but this is where what it's telling me is that in the month of June, you're learning to differentiate when it is okay to open up, and when you might want to keep those boundaries up, and when it is okay to, you know, stay guarded when you don't feel comfortable with someone, or they don't make you feel very trustworthy, or you don't feel that kind of you don't feel safe with them. And this is where you're learning to kind of see, you know, to weigh it out. Is this the person, someone I can trust and open up to, or is this the someone I have to, you know, keep them at a distance and kind of keep things a bit more surface level, and you know, be a bit more on guard because they might not have the best intentions with me or my best interests, you know, at heart. So so that's what I'm seeing. But Aqua, you got this extra message, so I hope this has helped. And let's get on to Pisces. All right, Pisces, last but not least, let's have a look to see what's the good stuff coming in for you guys in the month of June. So let's see, what is the good stuff coming in for my Pisces? So let's see. Spirit, what is the good stuff coming in for Pisces? All right, so we've got children, and then we've got freedom. So what I'm getting off the bat is that if you do have children, maybe they are growing up and they might be leaving home. Maybe they're moving out or going off to college or whatever it is that, you know, you're getting that empty nest. Another message that I'm getting is that in the month of June, you're having more fun. You're enjoying being free, kind of having that freedom of expressing yourself and going back to kind of having that childlike, kind of light-hearted fun. You could also be single, so this is why you're kind of going back to that kind of innocent, where maybe you're being celibate and not really seeing anyone, or you might be even seeing people, but in a very, that's too many cards. Let's see, we've got destiny. Okay, that's been coming out a lot today. And then we've got past love. Okay. What was I saying? You might be seeing other people, but you're just taking it very light. You're not really looking at things too seriously. You're just having fun. Okay, in the month of June. And what I feel like is, so there's kind of two stories that I'm getting here, is that either you're moving on from the past and that's why you're enjoying being single, and that's why you're maybe dating around and just having casual fun and not really taking things seriously, and just kind of you know, enjoying yourself. Or as you're having fun and you're getting yourself into that more kind of positive, light-hearted energy, it brings someone from the past. Now, this could be someone that you've dealt with in the past, or this could be someone that you might have like a past life kind of connection, that when you meet, it might feel like you've known each other already for a long time. So that could be it. But yeah, what I'm getting mainly is the fact that someone's coming back because they see you kind of glowing up, being very in that, like a, not very serious, but just very positive, kind of fun energy, where nothing is too, you don't take things too seriously in the month of June. And that is just that energy that attracts people because it's magnetic. It makes you magnetic, and it brings out someone from the past back to you. And with the destiny card, it feels like either you feel like this is something that was meant to be, or it's just something that's like, feels like it's destined. But let's see what the tarot says. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, what is the good stuff happening and coming in for my Pisces in the month of June? It could also be that you're connecting with someone from the past, but you're not really, you know, someone that maybe you either already have dated, or there was just some kind of a connection, but maybe it never really got anywhere. But this time around, you're just being very casual. You're keeping things very light with them. There's not any kind of pressure for anything, you know, like you're happy being single. You're not really, there's no desperate need to change that. You know, you're comfortable, you're enjoying your own company. And I feel like this is what the person is seeing, and they might be seeing you differently. I feel like there's some kind of realization. I'm just looking at that kid with the, I don't know if you can see it. See the way the kid is looking, like in awe, kind of realizing something that maybe they haven't seen about you before. So this time when you're connecting, or that's why maybe they're coming around, because there's something new that they're seeing. It could also be that if you do have children, and it could be that you have children with this person, there might be some kind of reconnection to see that now you're single, but you know, just having that kind of casual connection, but staying in a connection to see if there's even any potential to rebuild things, could be. Let's have a look. So you've got 4 of Pentacles. So that is the card of holding on to something. So this could be either that someone was very closed off before and they haven't really shared with you much, and now in the month of June they want to open up to you, or you want to maybe open up to someone a bit more that maybe previously you were closed off, or there could have been no communication, or in the month of June there could be some kind of like a no contact, because that could be like a blocked energy. But as a good thing, I'm getting is that if there is no contact in the month of June, this could be like that mean it's a lucky thing. It's a good thing for you that although maybe you don't see it, it ultimately allows you to move on from that past. But another thing I'm getting is that someone maybe wants to open up again, whether this is you or them. I feel like this is someone who's holding on to that connection and they don't want to let go. It could be you, it could be them, but it could also be both of you, that you just, you know, even though it's something in the past, you're not wanting to let each other go, but maybe you're just keeping things casual. So there's no serious conversation about anything happening. You're just maybe talking, but that's about it. It's like just wanting to, like clinging to it, like holding on to that. Like someone wants to keep someone. Then we've got the Strength, which is someone holding back or gaining more courage as well. Could be feeling kind of stronger and enjoying that freedom, because it comes under the card of freedom, which is kind of overcoming that sense of, you know, you've mastered yourself. So you know that you're not just going to fall for something unless it's, you know, there's any value in it, or unless it gives you what you want. So if you need to, then you might be holding back. But what I'm getting is mainly is the having the courage to just be on your own and just enjoying the period, because you know that it won't be forever. So might as well enjoy it while it lasts. You know, having the whole bed all to yourself for a while, not having to, I don't know, share your space, or you can watch if you're watching TV, you can watch whatever you want, not whatever someone else wants, you know, something like that. So there is, you're gaining confidence as well, or you might be getting your confidence back. And then we've got the 10 of Cups reversed. So again, this is talking about a relationship that has, there was like a separation, something that hasn't worked out, some kind of disconnect. And again, because it comes under the card of destiny, it was meant to happen. I feel like the connection served its purpose and there was no need for it. So I had to go. It ultimately wasn't for you. And yeah, right next to the Ten of Cups reversed is Nine of Pentacles, which is, again, being single, right? Being independent, enjoying your own, like focusing on yourself. It's self-love, self-care, just doing you, and not really worrying about anything or anyone, not needing anyone. Like that independence. So you, in the month of June, you will be getting over whatever happened here, that relationship, and you will be getting into that independence. You'll be getting that confidence within you, where you enjoy your own company, where you'll be seeing that past situation didn't work out. It was for a reason, and you're gonna get over that. So that will be healing as well. And you're just going to leave that past in the past where it belongs. You're not going to keep looking over your shoulder. You're going to be having that kind of hopeful, more kind of positive look to the future, where you see, because you're seeing the changes within you, and that's why you have that childlike innocence. That's why you're enjoying yourself so much, enjoying that freedom, because you're taking the positive out of it. You're seeing the value, and because maybe you're feeling lighter now that you're out of that relationship. This is where you're realizing, you know what, I actually feel so much better being out of it than when I was in it. There's so much stress, all this, maybe that relationship has taken your confidence away. Maybe you didn't feel good enough. Maybe you were kind of lacking courage. And then you realized after going through it that actually I can do things on my own. So the month of June will be very healing for you. And you might end up ultimately blocking this person, cutting them off. So whatever it is that you were holding on to, that you're releasing it and letting it go. So you will be ultimately kind of cutting it off. So yeah, I see that's kind of like a blocked energy. But let's see what's the last message of the good stuff for Pisces. We've got Temperance reversed. Yeah, so I feel like this connection made you feel very unstable, very unbalanced, and that's caused a lot of issues for you, where you just didn't feel like that was the thing with that confidence. It was affecting your confidence, because each time it put you into that state, you maybe didn't feel yourself. And after releasing it, I feel like you're getting back to the balance. You're getting back into harmony. You're transmuting that energy as well in the month of June. You're grounding yourself, but also you are going through the emotions. You're feeling the feels. If there was any pain, heartbreak, whatever came with it, you're feeling it. But then you're transmuting that energy to move on and use it to grow from that, and seeing that positive, that realizing, you know what, now I actually do feel so much better on my own without this person in my life, and I can move on. And for now, until I'm ready and until I meet someone that will be on the same level, I'm just going to enjoy being single, celibate maybe, and just have fun. Maybe even date around if I feel ready, but not really jumping deep into anything serious unless I know it will be working out, that it will give me peace rather than drama and conflict and stress. Okay, so that's what I got for you, Pisces. I hope this has helped. If these messages have resonated, then please do like, share, and subscribe, and come back in the month of June. And I would love if you let me know in the comments below to see what has came true for you. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.